Mr. Paris Fatnani has been working with QS for over 5 years, helping candidates across India, Middle East, and now the UK to connect directly with their dream university or business school around the world. He is currently a regional director at QS, and apart from being a part of the senior marketing leadership team, he works closely with Indian universities and business schools, consulting them on internationalization and global brand building strategies, leading towards his vision of creating a brand for education, a brand India for education. He has also led and been involved in various entrepreneurial ventures, including a digital marketing agency, an event management firm, and the latest where he has launched a brand called Honey Quicks, a food packaging innovation where they serve pure, 100% antibiotic-free honey in different flavors in single serves. He's also the ambassador for India at One Young World, a forum often referred to as Junior Davos, and a global ambassador for Project Chirag, an initiative to provide solar lighting to rural households in India that have no access to electricity. Academically, he is a chartered marketeer and has completed his MA in marketing communications on a full scholarship before he joined QS. A warm welcome to you, sir.
Thanks, Deepika. Great to be here.
Our audiences look forward to your talks and sharing your experiences. To start with the first theme, shall I start the questions?
Sure.
MBA abroad. At the very onset of this interview, I would like to ask you, how does an MBA in India differ from that overseas, keeping in mind the top colleges in perspective?
So, Deepika, I think, this is a double-edged sword when it comes to such a question. I am in favor of an MBA in India and abroad. But if you look at it, there are some key differentiators when you're talking about an MBA abroad in specific. One of them could be exposure to international businesses. So while there is a large growth of multinational companies coming to India to recruit and work from there, there is still a sense that, for example, the Silicon Valley for technology, Paris for fashion, London for finance are still the hubs that the candidates look for when they look at their future career prospects. So exposure to international businesses would be one of my points. Two, I think while Indian schools are trying, the major factor of diversity, and we're talking international diversity, is still a huge advantage when it comes to international business schools or universities. You're going to meet about 60 to 70 nationalities who are in a classroom, who come from different backgrounds, and you're learning from them and they're learning from you. So that's a specific thing that I feel so far internationally is a huge advantage. The third would be you're learning about a lot of cultures. So it's not a standard, yes, in India as well, when someone's pursuing an MBA or a postgraduate degree, that you get exposed to different cultures, but we're still talking domestic cultures, whereas with an international degree, we're talking about a very a diverse group of cultures that you learn about and you interact with in a large form. And lastly would be about the network that you build of people who you deal with, who become to be either your future business associates or friends for life. I mean, in my own experience, I can say that every time that I do travel at this stage, which is quite often, and my colleagues from work are with me, one of their most common questions is, how do you know so many people? How are you meeting different people in each country? And that was one of my advantages that I personally gained when I pursued my master's degree. So I think that these are key aspects that I feel still differentiate an international degree from a degree in India.
All right. Okay, so network, diversity, and learning about different cultures and interacting with students. That becomes an important part when you are doing your MBA abroad versus in India. And the next question would be, what are the top few things best B school look for in applications or into their application or into their applications? Yes.
So I think today's schools are very robust about their processes. So it's now not only about the academics; it's more about I mean, we touched on this briefly, but the diversity of experiences that bring into a classroom. It's the fact that these students then after graduation are trying a career change. So how are people learning from each other, and how's that facilitated? So diversity of experience is one. They're looking for years of work experience. I think with more accreditation that schools are now complying by, the work experience is a key factor to bring a certain age group, certain class cohort together. They look for academic backgrounds, obviously. So even now, we would say the undergraduate degree, from an Indian perspective, your 10th standard, your 12th standard results still do make a difference. We're also talk about, have you done any professional qualifications since you've graduated? The GMAT, the GRE, different perspectives are all important when it comes to academic background. They look at the professional background and leadership. So they also consider, it's not only do you tick boxes, but are you the right fit for the school, and is the school the right fit for you? And this leads to the larger area of personality. So schools today have moved on from the traditional modes of gauging an applicant to a more dynamic approach, where they are now considering every aspect of the personality and seeing, is this student going to bring anything more to the class? How are they promoting inter-learning in the classroom? So I'd say these are key factors to keep in mind. These are key factors that schools keep in mind and candidates should keep in mind when they apply to these schools as well.
All right, so there are a lot of factors. I actually stopped writing the key factors after a point because personality is important. Everything under the sun seems to be important when you're applying to a B school, especially to a top B school. All right, moving on to the next question. What would be your golden advice to the GMAT takers?
So for all GMAT takers out there, I think there are some key words that I would say. Practice, practice, and practice. Don't wait too late till the GMAT is a couple of days away and you're freaking out about, am I prepared enough or not? Use platforms that are available for you to practice on. If you need guidance, go to a coaching institute, get your fundamentals right. But there's a lot of self-learning involved. For example, one of the things we've seen over the years is there is a large group of people who struggle to find free resources because, yes, the business school journey or the postgraduate education journey is going to be an expensive one. So people are looking to see how they can reduce that pressure on them. So the free resources available are limited, but there are quite a few out there. QS at our end, what we did was earlier this year, looking at that need, we've launched a platform called QS Leap, which is available for students anywhere in the world to learn for free across GMAT, GRE, SAT, and LSAT. So I would highly recommend people to use such resources available to practice and prepare themselves in advance to get to their achievable score that they desire.
All right. So there are some helpful resources out there that students should make use of. And besides the golden advice, practice, practice, and practice. All right. Next question would be, has the admission system changed in the past decade or so? And if yes, how?
So I think I touched upon a large bit of this when we were talking about what the schools look for in applicants. It's gone, and I think you rightly mentioned it earlier, it's more about the personality now than about the test scores or the academic backgrounds. They are looking much deeper into the personality of the individual applying. And now more than ever, there's a question about the fit. So is the candidate someone they can support and help achieve their aspirations. So I think one key factor to keep in mind is, and research sort of supports this, that a large number of applicants or candidates who apply to business school or get into business school have a aspiration before they get into school. But once they're there, once they have made that leap of faith, most of their journeys, or a large portion of them, decide that their journeys are changing. They aren't going the same route that they were going before. So I think the business schools and universities at this point keep that as a key factor to gauge that if this person is going to change path, are we the right school to support that? Because for all of them as well, and I think this is where the perspectives are changing. It's there's a large factor of demand and supply. While now the demand for MBAs is increasing, there's a lot of candidates who want to apply to top schools. So there's a selection process. But at the same time, the number of schools offering these programs have increased. So there is a large desire for schools to only recruit the right candidates. And all of these affect accreditations and rankings for schools. So that's why the process has become more holistic now than before.
All right. That's a lot of advices packed in this very short video, and we hope that our viewers make the most of it. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.